We all spend so much time obsessing over which mutual fund to buy, right? But what about the other side of the coin? When to sell? Getting that exit timing right is absolutely crucial for protecting your hard-earned returns. And that's exactly what we're going to break down today.
So let's just put it out there. When should you break up with your mutual fund? I know it sounds a little dramatic, but honestly, it's a great way to think about it. Just like any relationship, you've got to know when it's just not working for you anymore. And believe me, this is a fundamental part of any successful investment strategy.
All right, so how do you even know when it's time to sell? The biggest problem we see is that a lot of investors might even make the right call to exit, but they still end up losing money. Why? Because they completely ignore the bigger picture, especially, and this is the big one, the impact of taxes. Today, we're going to fix that.
To get there, we're going to build this entire guide around 4 essential questions. Is the fund consistently underperforming? Has its strategy or your personal goal changed? And crucially, what kind of tax hit are you looking at? Answering these will give you a rock-solid framework.
Okay, let's dive right into the 3 core exit rules. This is all about building a logical foundation for your decisions. Think of these as the tripwires, the things that should make you sit up and pay attention well before emotion gets involved. First up, rule number 1. This is all about performance, but you have to look at it the right way. And the right way is to focus on long-term, consistent performance. Look, what happens over 3 months, 6 months, or even a full year is often just market noise. It's static. Making a huge decision based on short-term volatility is one of the most common mistakes an investor can make. Now, this table shows you exactly what we're talking about. Let's say your fund is chugging along, giving you a 9% return, but its benchmark, the standard it's supposed to beat, is hitting 11 or 12%. That right there, that's a red flag. And if that performance gap sticks around for 3 years or more, well, that's a pretty strong signal to start thinking about an exit. All right, let's move on to rule number 2. Now, this one isn't so much about the numbers, it's more about how the fund itself is behaving. You need to exit if the fund's fundamental strategy changes. There's a term for this. It's called strategy drift. For example, imagine you bought a stable large cap fund, but then the fund manager starts getting a little adventurous, taking on more risk by buying more volatile mid-cap stocks. Suddenly, the fund you own isn't the fund you thought you bought. Its risk profile has changed, and it might not align with your goals anymore. And that brings us to our third and final core rule. This one shifts the focus away from the fund and puts it squarely back on you and your own financial journey. You have to realign your investments as your goals get closer. This is so important. Let's say you've been saving in an equity fund for a down payment on a house, and that goal is now just a year or 2 away. Well, it's time to start shifting that money out of volatile equities and into more stable debt funds to protect that capital. You want to lock in your gains, not risk them at the finish line.
Okay, now for the part that really separates the pros from the amateurs. Understanding the tax impact. Seriously, making a logical decision to exit is great, but if you don't execute it in a tax-efficient way, you could be giving back a huge chunk of your gains. We don't want that.
So the crucial point here is that your holding period changes everything. If you sell within 1 year, your gain is taxed at the higher short-term capital gains rate. But if you just hold for more than a year, it becomes a long-term capital gain. Not only is the tax rate lower, but it only applies to gains above a certain threshold for the financial year. It's a huge difference. Let's make this crystal clear with a simple example. Imagine you invested 1 lakh rupees, and now it's worth 1.5 lakhs. So you're sitting on a 50,000 rupee gain. Not bad. Now, let's see what happens to that 50 grand depending on when you sell. And this chart just says it all. If you exit within the year, you immediately owe 10,000 rupees in tax. Poof, gone. But if you just wait until after that 1 year mark, your tax bill on that same 50,000 rupee gain is 0, nothing. That's because it's below the tax-free threshold. That is a 10,000 rupee difference in your pocket just for being patient. So now that we're armed with this knowledge, let's talk about proactive strategies you can use. And just as importantly, let's talk about the common emotional traps that you absolutely must avoid. One of the most powerful strategies you can use is called tax harvesting. It's a completely legal way to reduce your tax liability over the long term. You're essentially taking advantage of that tax-free limit every single year. So here's how it works. Each financial year, you identify funds that have long-term gains. You sell just enough to book a gain up to the tax-free limit. Since it's tax-free, you pay nothing. Then, and this is the key part, you immediately reinvest that money right back in. This keeps you in the market but cleverly resets your cost basis, which can save you a bundle on future tax bills.
Now for the traps. Never, ever, ever exit during a market crash just because of fear or panic. That's just selling at the bottom. And as we've discussed, don't react to short-term returns. And one last thing, while tax is important, don't hold on to a truly terrible fund for years just to save a little tax. Performance always comes first, then you make it tax efficient.
Okay, let's pull all of this together into a final, simple framework. This is your go-to checklist for making a smart, logical, and profitable exit decision. It all comes right back to those 4 questions we started with. Is it consistently underperforming for 3 years or more? Has the strategy drifted? Is your financial goal just around the corner? And what will the tax implications be? If you can answer these 4 questions, you are in complete control.
So if you remember just one thing from this explainer, please let it be this. Your decision to exit should always be based on logic and your strategy. But the execution of that exit must be tax efficient. That crucial second step is where your real returns are truly protected. And finally, just a quick reminder, this conversation is for educational purposes only. Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks, so it's always a good idea to consult a qualified professional before investing. Thanks for joining us.